Oh, dating after 40 is bleak. I made a Hinge account, just to see what's out there. I matched with a cute guy, cute, seemed cool, and then we chatted for most of today. I asked this man 6 different questions about himself, and he was happy to answer. Thoroughly, long, detailed answers. You know how many questions he asked me? One. And it was his first message, and it was about where my hometown was. I unmatched with this fool. No warning, no feedback, because I'm not playing with these boys or girls. I don't care. Really? If you don't want to know about me, I'm not interested in you either. So anyway, all I'm saying is it's bleak.
Oh, wow, Colleen, you look very post-wall. I'm talking about the way you look. It looks like you smashed through the wall a decade ago and you put your vehicle in reverse just to smash it again. And here you are complaining about a guy who went out with you and he talked a lot about himself and asked very few questions about you. Okay, so let me guess. You want to be the star of the show. You want to get all the attention, and you went out with a guy who required more attention than you? And that's why you decided, oh, forget this fool. I mean, seriously, how interesting do you think you are? Don't get me wrong, everybody would like to say their own story, but what about you makes you so fascinating? Or more to the point, why didn't you take initiative and start talking about yourself? I mean, the whole time you're acting like, oh, you're waiting for him to ask you a question about yourself. You basically let him carry the entire conversation, and you were upset because he didn't ask you more questions about yourself. Here's a crazy thought. Put your big girl britches on and start talking. I mean, if your story was that awesome, why do you need him to invite you to say it? Before we move on, I want to bring to attention that 75% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, fam. You've seen my logo on other channels, and you're already here. Please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really helps out. Moving on.
Can somebody explain to me why it's so hard to date in your 40s? I've said it before, and it's really true. The dating pool has pee in it past 30. It has been so hard to try to just find a decent person, okay, that has pretty good morals, looks good, is semi-healthy, has a good job, good with kids, or has their own, and they're have a good relationship with them. I'm not asking a whole lot. I mean, I'm no supermodel, and I'm not looking for a supermodel. And I'm not looking for a saint, obviously. It's just, it seems like there's nobody around me that actually wants to be in a relationship. Everybody wants to be and, having flings. I'm 40, bro. I'm freaking 40. I have a 21-year-old and an 11-year-old. I am past that stage of my life.
Oh, behave.
Well, my decade-plus post-wall Colleen, I am glad you asked that question. This girl is going to help you out. Why is it so hard to date in your 40s? The short answer is because you're not in your 20s. The long answer is because you're not in your 20s. Because in your head, you think you still are in your 20s. You said that you're not asking much. You said 5 things right there. And it's no secret that those 5 are not the limit of what you're looking for. I'm sorry. A guy who is mildly attractive, right? Okay. Has a good job. Has good morals. You didn't mention other factors that you want. For example, you want a guy to make you happy. That's a common one you queens love to throw out there. Another one is you want a guy who's taller than you. You probably want a guy who's in a certain age range. You don't want him to be too old or too young. Don't act like you only have 5 boxes to check here, sister, because if you had only those 5 boxes, you would have found them already. Also, you say that the dating pool has pee in it. Yeah, guess what? You're part of that urine there, honey. And you're saying that people don't want relationships, they just want hookups? Well, that's real simple. The modern dating market has been created by women, and men just adapt to it. Sister, you keep complaining about your age. You're in your 40s, you're past that. Okay, you are past that. You are the one looking for something else. If you wanted a long-term relationship, you should have stayed with the father of your children. I'm assuming both your kids have the same baby daddy. But some advice to you and all the queens out there like you. Your lack of planning does not constitute an emergency on the men's part. You're a much older model vehicle that had more than one owner. You probably got into several different accidents, and you have about 200,000 miles on the meter. Long gone are those days that you had that new car smell.
I knew that dating would be hard, but this has just gotten out of control. Like it's sad. It's really sad. I'm in Arkansas, okay? And so finding somebody that is not a conservative in the area that I'm in has been one of the biggest challenges. Yeah, there's lots of conservative men that look good around here. For some reason, I can't find anybody that's not a conservative that looks good, that is a good person, and that I click with. Like, I can't have all of it. Like, does that person not exist? Am I destined to be alone? And I'm not rushing. Like, I'm not trying to get married, right? Pump the brakes on that. I'm literally just trying to date and have, like, maybe a steady relationship. That's it. That's all I'm asking. Do you exist? Are you out there? I'm pretty sure I told my friend that my soulmate is probably a buffalo chicken wing. That's what it feels like. Because I feel like maybe he doesn't exist.
All right, so you say it's sad because you can't find anyone in your area, but I can't help but notice how you described the men up there. You said, oh, most of the men here are conservatives, and you're looking at someone who's not a conservative that looks good and is a good person. Right there, honey. You just put yourself in a box there. With that alone, you're making it sound like every conservative out there doesn't fit your description of a good person. Your words, not mine. Also, this thing about your soulmate. You know what your soulmate's going to be, sister? You're lucky. You're going to match with a pair of soulmates. One half of the soul is a cat, the other half of the soul is box wine. Let me tell you something. You can't manifest this stuff, okay? Just like in the first half of this video, when you said you only had 5 requirements, I knew that was BS. Here you are in the second half, putting more requirements on the guy. Like I said, if you would have had only 5 requirements, you would have had him already. And you're saying that you're not looking for marriage. Drop the cap there, sister. Look in the mirror. Be honest with yourself. Say, hey, you know what? I do want to get married. I want a relationship. You're looking for this unicorn that more than likely doesn't exist. And more importantly, even if he does exist, why would he settle for you? What makes you think that this unicorn is going to like you back? In fact, Queen, I'm going to help you out. The first thing you should do is drop that filter that you're using, because that's not helping, because you're being deceptive already. The second thing you should do is really write down a list of everything that you really want and look at that, refine that list, and you got to figure out, hey, you got to cut the fat off that bad boy. You can't have it all. Heck, you can't even have half. You'll be lucky if you get 20% of what you want. Why? Because what are you offering back? Probably something that the guy you want doesn't want. But don't worry, Queen. The guy you want will find you one day. The only problem is he's just going to keep on walking. Moving on.
That's what it's like for a mid-40-year-old woman to date. I joined a paddlers group. I'm paddleboard, and so I joined a group that's singles and was anticipating that I was going to go out with some group events and kind of figure out from there, meet new people, just do group stuff. One of the guys put a group event together. It was at a bar. I went. Another guy went as well. It was near my birthday. They both bought me a drink. It was really sweet and nice. One guy I just didn't have any interest in. The other guy and we decided that we would meet up and go paddling on the river. Totally fine, safe environment, yes. We met up, he was very sweet, he was very gentlemanly, he helped me with my board. We went and he kind of like pushed me to go to a place on the river that was a little bit more challenging, and it was very nice. After he and I went on this paddling thing for the night, he gave me kind of just a weird hug at the end. He said we should do this again. And I said, yeah, I would love to, go back out on the water, either by just the two of us or in a group setting. Like, this was really fun. I enjoyed this. He has since kind of followed up a couple of times. What are you doing? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And I have precluded in those texts not getting out on the water. I was hoping to get out on this day, or I was hoping to get out on that day. At no point in time did this man, or has this man said, let's get back out on the water. I'm going out with a group. You should join us. Nothing like that. But he has continued to send me like every other day texts. How's your day? How's your week going? He's trying to inject conversation, but he's not injecting conversation. And this is the problem that I have with that. If you like someone and don't try to interject yourself into their life on a daily basis, just so you can keep in the back of their mind like, oh, hey, don't forget about me. That's disingenuous.
Ho, ho, ho! Fiction can be fun.
Hold up there, my decades plus post-wall Colleen. You're complaining that a guy who's just showing you mild interest, invited you out to go paddling, hasn't invited you out into a one-on-one date or a group date, but he texts you every other day to keep you interested, and you're saying that's disingenuous? Here's a wild idea. Why don't you ask him out on a date? If you like him, say it. You went out with two guys, they bought you some drinks on your birthday, you liked one guy, but again, you expect him to take the entire initiative. Well, sister, in order to help you catch up with the times, women can do anything that men can do, right? That includes inviting them out, and that includes saying, hey, you know what? It's good that you're contacting me, and it's good that you keep communicating with me, but I would like to go out with dinner with you. Let's go out and just sit down and talk with each other. To have the courage to take that step, to say, hey, I would like to have an official date. It sounds like the guy found you interesting for paddling. He liked the fact that you enjoy his hobby, his sport, but I don't think he's that interested in you to take it any step further. That's not being disingenuous. That's just him saying, hey, you know what? I'd like to continue this relationship more on a platonic basis, more on paddleboarding, more on doing things that I'm interested in. You're kind of cool. You want to take it a step further. Or should I point out that you're an older Colleen who wants him to take this a step further, and since he's not doing it, you think he's the problem. Why don't you look in the mirror? Colleen, you got to stop BSing here. If you don't have the courage to take that next step, that's not a problem with the dating game. That's not a problem with modern dating. That's not even a problem with him. That's a problem with you. Why don't you just be straightforward? You're already complaining about him being disingenuous. You're being equally disingenuous by not saying anything. Double standards much there, Colleen?
Honestly, it feels very weird. Because I've been really clear that I really wanted to just be friends and paddleboarding friends and part of the group, I don't know why you keep sending me random texts that say, have a great weekend, or hope you have a great day. You haven't asked me to go back on the water. You haven't asked me to join a group. You haven't intervened in a way in which we met. And you also haven't said, hey, I would love to take you on a date. Can we meet this day, this day? Let me know what your schedule is. At that, I would say, I'm really not interested in that, but I would still love to do group events, no harm in feelings, like trying not to hurt feelings. I would be clear because that's what you should be. And yet here we are where he still thinks that he wants to interject himself in my daily life, but not put any effort into asking me to do something. Not my role to ask. If you want to be a part of my life, if you want to see me again, you need to ask. You just need to ask. But guys don't do that anymore. And it's really disheartening.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Dan Queen, in the words of the late, great Kevin Samuels, you can't make this ish up. So let me get this straight. You start off the video saying that the problem with dating is blank, and you fill this all in about him not asking you out straight, and you're saying it's disingenuous. And in the second half of your video, you're saying that he's keeping it platonic, and it bothers you that he doesn't ask you out on a date so you can turn him down and say you want to keep it platonic. Make it make sense, please. I have to ask there, Queen, are you going through menopause right now? Because I'm starting to see a little symptom of it. How in the heck is the guy the problem here? I swear, your logic is as clear as mud there, lady. The guy's being pretty clear to me. He's just being a friend. He's just texting you as a friend. You just want the exclusive right to be the one to say, oh, I'm not interested in a relationship. I'm not interested in going out and dating. I just want to put you in a little box. Just say, you want a man who simps for you. You want a guy who fills in the boyfriend role when you need him to fill in the boyfriend role, but you yourself do not want to fulfill any of the girlfriend roles. To point out the problem with modern dating here, Colleen, it's real simple. Look in the mirror or any surface that casts your reflection from all angles, and you get a 3D version of the problem. I only wonder how this Colleen is going to act when the guy just shows up with a woman who's younger and hotter than she is and says, oh, I'm already in a relationship with this girl. I just want to be your friend. Would she find a way to complain about that too?
Emotional damage!
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.